Welcome back for the second episode of Creative Script by Glaire Studios. I am Llano, and for this episode we will be doing a tutorial on digital art illustrations using the IbispaintX application on iPad. Check it out.
For our second episode, we will be doing a tutorial on how to draw anime using the IbispaintX application on iPad. By the way, this is the drawing process of my original character Onyx from our manga Azure. She is the glaring girl you see on the screen. As you can see, I draw a sketch on paper first before drawing it digitally. I took a photo of the sketch and imported it on the application. I set the opacity of the image layer to 45 or 30%, then add a new layer for the line art. I usually use the dip pen for line art. To have a smooth line art, I zoom the canvas and make a quick stroke. I set a different layer for every part, like the skin, hair, eyes, and clothes. I do it so I can change the line art colors later. I refine the line art and erase the excess lines one by one. You can see that I often flip the drawing so I can see if it is symmetrical or in perspective. When the line art is done, I made some adjustments. Then when I'm done with the line art, I create a new layer and fill the parts with their respective base colors. It is also necessary to check if there are gaps or holes in the drawing. Every base color has a different sketch layer. I lock the opacity of the layer and use airbrush to do the shading for the hair. I use a darker color for the shading. For the details of the hair, I create a new layer set to clipping and multiply. I use blue or violet color for the hair details. I also use the dip pen for this. You can also lessen the opacity of the layer to create some effects. When done with the hair details, I create another layer for the highlights. This time, I also change the color of the hairline art into a lighter color. You can see that some hair strands are lighter in color than the other lines. For coloring the skin, I choose a rosy color for the blush and face shading, and more darker colors to emphasize details. I use the blur tool for blending. I'm adding some dark colors for some parts of the face, ears, eyes, neck, and the body. I use blur tool for the blending. I'm often not satisfied with the first result of my coloring, so I try and mix some colors. I use orange, red, or violet for the skin too. Coloring the eyes. I usually don't stick to one part while drawing. I tend to change from this part from the other and into another part. For the dark effects, I also use the violet color and adjust the opacity to 60 or 70%. At first, it will look awful, but if you adjust the opacity, it will create that kind of effect. I'm erasing some parts to create the highlights effect. I zoom in a lot. Adding some darker colors to the darker parts of the face. For the skin highlights, I use a lighter shade and apply some dots to the nose, cheeks, and lips. Refining some details. The lightning tattoo. It is just a plain white lightning shaped drawing set to screen. Yeah, I think it was screen. It is a blending mode. The clothes is always tricky. I don't know how to make a net-like effect for the clothes, so I just put some random lines there, like that, and then set to the opacity to 25%. I really can't remember my settings. It's not consistent. It varies depending on what I think is or what I think looks better. I'm adding some highlights to the hair and eyes. My highlights aren't always white. I play with different colors. I use blue, pink, yellow, and green. You can see I added some pink lights on her hair. Adding some details to the eyes. For the background, I put some solid black color and added some lights. I used airbrush for the background lights and effects. I used the colors violet, blue, yellow, and red. I added some highlights to the hair too. I always experiment on mixing colors. This time I'm using the symmetry ruler for the rose details. Adding some details on the roses. Trying some effects. Adding some more details on the background. And for my favorite part, adding some dots. I love this dots effect. I know you can notice that mostly of my drawings have those similar effects. And that's it. We're done. I hope you have learned something from this, and thank you for listening.
And that's how we make an illustration using the IbispaintX application. I hope you have learned something from it, and thank you for listening. If you like this video, click the like button and subscribe for more videos.